fourth year mechanicals? Cool. So you got Mrs. Winter. Yeah, you got 2 co-ops left?
Yeah.
Excellent. So a lot of you will go into that time, and I assume that you'll go into those last 2 co-ops and coming out going, hoping that you're going to get a job offer from your co-op employers or gain great experience for other opportunities, which you will, and I hope you do. But I can imagine that there aren't enough people at UC saying to you, some of you really should be thinking about graduate school and getting a graduate degree. And I want to just take a minute to talk to you about the graduate degrees that are available to you in mechanical engineering or at the university and why you might want to consider them. I'm not going to try to talk you into anything, but why you might want to consider it. So I'm Eugene Rutz. I know some of you. I manage the ACCEND programs. I manage one of the master's program, the Master of Engineering program. I do some other things. I teach a couple courses now and again. I did an undergraduate degree in nuclear engineering when we had nuclear engineering here. I got my degree here too. And after some years, I came back and got a degree in mechanical engineering. Coming back's fine. Some of you will go to work and come back and do that. But some of you should think about maybe saying 1 more year, 2 more years, and getting a master's degree here. So what I want to talk about is what it takes, what you need to do, and why you might want to do that. So believe it or not, one of the things is that it won't seem like it now, but actually you're a very desired commodity. As a domestic student with an undergraduate degree, and if you've got above a 3.0 or above a 3.2, you're highly desired to be in the graduate program. In that, we have a lot of international graduate students, which is great. They do good work. But we love to have a few more domestic students. We don't get many domestic students. It's not because you're not as bright as the international students. It's because you've co-op and you've got job opportunities. And it's like, that seems like a pretty darn good choice. And it is a really good choice. But some of you might benefit from getting a graduate degree, and we would love to have you. And so to that point, it's really easy. If you have an undergraduate degree from UC above a 3.0, you don't need the GRE. You just need to apply, and you will get admitted, and you'll get a scholarship for coming. So we'd love to have you, and I hope some of you think about coming. Until a few years ago, we had the Master of Science. You could do a thesis-based or non-thesis-based. And about 8, 9 years ago, we said, let's rethink this. If you're going to do a Master of Science, a research-based program, if you're going to do a non-thesis program, we'll call that the Master of Engineering, and we focus it on the practice of engineering. So the 2 master's degrees that we offer are the Master of Science and the Master of Engineering. They both require 30 credit hours of coursework, so a whole lot less than your undergraduate degree. The Master of Science is that it's a research-based degree. It's really if you want to dig deep into a particular topic, whereas the Master of Engineering is a workforce-based degree. The Master of Science, you're going to take about 18 credit hours, or 18 to 20 credit hours of discipline courses, your mechanical engineering graduate courses. In the Master of Engineering, you're going to take the same graduate level mechanical engineering courses. The coursework, that discipline-specific coursework, is no different. You do the same coursework. But in the Master of Science, you do a research thesis, which is about 10 to 12 credit hours. In the Master of Engineering, you don't do that research thesis. Instead, you're going to take some what we call core courses, and you're going to do a capstone, which is a bit like what you'll do next year in senior design, in that it's an application of engineering principles to a problem. Something else very pragmatic is that the Master of Engineering being a coursework-based degree, you take 15 credits your fall semester, you take 15 credits your spring semester, you're done. You can get the degree in 1 year. Master of Science, still 30 credit hours, but the research and the thesis doesn't lend itself to that nice, neat 15 credit hours, get it done, 15 credit hours, get it done. You'll be done with your credit hours, but your research probably won't be done. It really takes about 4 academic semesters to do the Master of Science. That's because of the nature of it getting deep into it. If you have questions as I go, please don't hesitate to ask. With a Master of Science, which is what you often think of as that traditional master's degree, you're going to work with a thesis advisor, as I say, on a research topic. So if you're really interested in a particular thing, whether it's thermal storage or structural mechanics, and you want to know more about that, and you want to apply that deeply into a particular problem, you'd work with a faculty member and go deep on that. The Master of Science is the typical path to a PhD. If you want to keep going to a PhD, the Master of Science is the right way to go. The Master of Engineering doesn't keep you from doing it, but this is the better pathway. And again, it's more about a depth of knowledge in a particular area. As part of a Master of Science, you'll write a thesis. It's more than just a big report because it's a more comprehensive look at this particular problem. You do background literature search, investigate the problem. You'll report on your experimental techniques or your analysis techniques and the results of those and the implications of those. So it's a pretty substantial piece of work. When you get done with that, you can be very proud of that. It's a big piece of work, but it gives you that expertise in a particular area. Master of Engineering, again, though, is more workforce focused. It's coursework based. So as I mentioned, the same discipline courses you would take in mechanical engineering, Master of Science, you would take here. In addition, we have you take what we're calling core courses. We call them core courses because it doesn't matter if you're a chemical engineer or civil or mechanical, we want you to have courses from that same area. And those core courses are in areas like project management and teamwork and communication. So you know from co-op that if you have some skills in project management and if you know how to work well on teams, contribute well to teams, you're going to make a better contribution to your work organization than if you don't have those skills. So being work focused, we insist that you have some coursework in that area so you begin to develop greater competencies and abilities there. We have you do a capstone project, which is a 3 credit hour course, but it's an independent thing. It's typically a project. It's not meant to be a mini thesis. It's meant to be a project, an application of engineering principles to something. You might work with a faculty member on this. You might take something a course you took and go, I'm really kind of interested in this. I'd like to do more, and work with the faculty on that. You could, some students even take what they did for their senior capstone and go, I can take it one more step now and do some additional analysis or additional investigation, something like that. But there are a variety of other ways. There are actually several ways of completing the capstone project. The most common for people like yourself is a project, but most of our international students, for instance, they do it with an internship because they don't have that co-op experience. So you have that same opportunity. If you want to do an internship to complete the capstone, that's fine. You can also do a kind of a paper with a faculty member, but in general, it's usually the project or perhaps an internship. These are the primary focus areas for mechanical engineering. If you do graduate work, so if you're going to do a thesis, you're going to do the Master of Science, you're likely going to do a thesis in one of these areas or something that crosses between them. Because our faculty, our research faculty are hired in these kind of areas. So, solid mechanics, fluids, energy, design, manufacturing are the kind of the primary areas. Master of Engineering, you can choose to focus all in design and manufacturing, but it's pretty flexible. If your career goals include some of this, but you want to learn a little bit more about solid mechanics also, that's fine. There are no set required courses that you need to take, except that you need to have certain those master's level graduate courses. But if you do a thesis, you're likely going to do it in one of these kind of areas and get deep into that. So, depth of knowledge, Master of Science. Breadth of knowledge, workforce focus, Master of Engineering. They both provide a lot of opportunity. So why would you want to consider getting it as opposed to just getting your degree, your undergraduate, going on and working in the field? I mean, a couple reasons. If you want to be the kind of one of the experts in an area, if you found an area that you like, maybe even your co-op job, you apply yourself in that area too, maybe it's vibrations, and you want to know more so that you're kind of looked at as one of the experts in your field, Master of Science is a great way to do that. If you're interested in expanding your skills and having a broader skill set so you can contribute more broadly across the team and have a little bit of the ability to lead projects and teams, Master of Engineering might be a good way for you to go for you. Now, could you go get your job and then come back and do it later? Sure, you can do that. There's not a problem with that. As a matter of fact, with the Master of Engineering, we do offer a fully online version of Master of Engineering Mechanical that you take 2 courses a semester and you finish over 5 semesters if you want to do that. It's a little harder. Once you get into the workforce, when you work for 5 years, maybe you've got a family, it can be a little harder to come back, but it's certainly entirely possible. People do that, or to do it online. But certainly, if you thought about going into like a very research-focused organization, or if you have some desire to teach yourself, a graduate degree is really necessary to do that. All right, what questions do you have about either degree, why you should do it? Yes, sir.
Does waiving like the prerequisites like the GRE and stuff like that still hold if you take a year or two off?
It does. Yeah. So if you take a year or two off and you say, yeah, I really would like to go back and do it, as long as you graduate from honestly an A-BET accredited institution, so your undergraduate's A-BET accredited with a 3.0 or better, the GRE would be waived. Right. Yeah. Other questions? Anybody at all interested in doing a graduate course? A little bit. Any of you in ACCEND? So you're kind of you're doing that already. So good. Yeah. Think about it. I mean, one other question. Don't hesitate to bring it up. But so if you really want to get a PhD, there's something to be said for not getting all your degrees at one university. So whereas I want you to come back to UC, if you have a strong desire to get a PhD, either you're at master's or your PhD should probably be in most cases from a different university. If you want to get a faculty job somewhere, that you're going to be looked on more favorably if you have degrees from multiple universities as opposed to all your degrees from one university. Now, there are some exceptions. Maybe the best faculty member in the College of Engineering is a guy named Jason Heichenfeld. I don't know if you know, he's electrical engineering faculty. All his degrees are from UC, but he's the exception. But you can do it. I'm not trying. I'd love for you to stay here, but if you really want to do a PhD, it's just something to think about. If you want what you want is a master's degree, doing an undergraduate and a master's in the same location is perfectly fine. There's no one looks down on that. But if you want to go teach somewhere, it's better to have a couple of different institutions. Anything else? Yes, sir.
So for a target of any some sort of management position, what are the differences between doing a master's in engineering and something like an MBA?
Yeah, that's a great question. So if you're really interested in doing the management, or I really want that as a career path, I'm sure of it, I think the MBA is probably a better bet. But if you're not sure and you like the technical, but you want to begin to have some of those skills and abilities, the Master of Engineering is it. So with a Master of Engineering degree, it's not engineering management. There's some colleges that offer an engineering management degree. It's not meant to be that. It's meant to be you're going to be a better mechanical engineer, but you're going to have some skills here. So if you think you might, if you want as a career path, I do want to get into management sometime sooner rather than later, MBA is probably a better option for you. But what you can do here too is so those core courses, you can take more than one required in project management, one required in teamwork communication. You can take a couple additional ones as elective if that's what you're really interested in to kind of move you along that way. So.
What's the process like of getting in if you don't have a 3.0?
Sure. So the process, if you don't have a 3.0, it kind of depends. If you're just a little shy, it's probably not going to be an issue. If you're a bunch shy, it's going to be a bit of an issue. But the best thing to do if you're a little shy is you're going to need letters of reference. And so if you have a faculty member here that you've worked with who knows your work well and will write you a letter of recommendation, it's probably going to be fine. If your recommendations are from your co-op, right? So on the Master of Engineering program, especially the distance learning part, I review the application. So, if somebody's coming in with a 2.8 with good work experience and good recommendations, it's fine. If someone's coming in with a 2.2, it's like, oh. And the reason is because they might, maybe that was 10 years ago and maybe they've matured, but what we're looking for is if we admit you, we want you to be successful. So it's not meant to be, we don't want somebody that's, bad reputation. It's not it. If we admit you, we want you to be able to be successful. So we need a demonstration of how do we know this person can be successful to come in. So that's all. That's really what we're looking for. Yeah.
What's the differences in going to a PhD from either degree? Like, is it just harder because you're...
No. So it's no harder to go from an MEng to PhD than MS to PhD. The reason why you should, if you know you want to do it, is PhD is even more deep into a particular area. So doing the Master of Science gives you a step in that direction, if you will. But every year we have some MEng graduates who go on to PhDs, and really what's needed there is a faculty member goes, yeah, this is a bright student who I think has the potential, and then it's not a problem. But it's just the MS gives you that background.
What kind of scholarships are available?
Great.
And then are they dependent on GPA or are they all the same?
Great, good question. So they're not dependent on GPA for the most part. The scholarship, the scholarship is a little different. So Master of Science is going to take you about 4 academic semesters. Master of Engineering will take you 2. Because of that, you get less scholarship money here because your out-of-pocket expenses over time are going to be more here. So, if I recall correctly, undergraduate tuition and fees are about $6,000 per semester. Does that sound about right? Graduate tuition and fees are something like $7,700 a semester. And then the MN scholarship brings you back down to just below undergraduate tuition and fees. The Master of Science scholarship is double what this is. So this is about $2,500 a semester. This is about $5,000 a semester, about. So this will bring you down so that it's lower than that. This is about equivalent to undergraduate. This will be a couple grand lower than undergraduate tuition fees. If you're an MN student, you're almost certainly not going to get a TA position. It's 2 years, your coursework based. Here, if you're good, if you're coming in with a 3.5 and a faculty member knows you took their classes in that area and you did well, he or she might want you to be a TA. So there's possibility for getting a TA here. So that would be a stipend on top of a scholarship. You're not going to get that here, but you're only here 2 years. So honestly, if you're looking at economics and efficiency, you can't beat this. But don't make a decision based on economics and efficiency. Base a decision on what you want to do. Because they're not completely different career paths. 10 years from getting either one of these degrees, you could be in the same position. But again, if your goal and your desire, the thing you really like is to go deep, you should choose that because of this. If you want broader skills in the workforce, don't make it on just economics.
What are the requirements of keeping the scholarship?
Keep an academic good standing, which is so in the graduate school there's no D, A, B, C, F. So don't get any Fs, and have a cumulative GPA above a 3.0 on your graduate coursework.
This is more than a set question, but I haven't started my graduate coursework yet. Am I still eligible for the scholarship?
Yes. So as an ACCEND student, which graduate degree are you doing?
I think it's ENG.
Okay. In mechanical.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're still eligible for 2 semesters of the scholarship. So some academic planning for you. Most MN students probably only take the scholarship for 1 semester because in order to get the scholarship, you have to be registered for at least 12 graduate hours in the semester. But so you haven't taken any graduate courses yet? That's okay. Make sure you're working with Emily or Amy on planning what holes you have in your curriculum so that start taking graduate classes next fall.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's no problem. Anything else?
Does the scholarship kick in when she starts taking those MN courses?
So for the ACCEND students, the scholarship kicks in. So ACCEND students don't need to apply to the graduate school. Everyone else would apply to graduate school. We've saved her $80. She saved herself $80 is what she's done. But what the scholarship kicks in. But you don't apply to graduate school, but you have to transition to graduate status. So either for fall or for next spring, you'll transition to graduate status. Once you transition and you're taking 12 graduate hours, you'll get the scholarship automatically. Okay. Yes?
How flexible is the scheduling for either of them? Like, say you want to just take 6 credit hours a semester.
So if you want to do the work part-time, honestly, we are not set up to do part-time except for the online program. And the online program, honestly, is focused in design and manufacturing. So that online program. But this college has not for 30 years been set up to accommodate part-time students. That doesn't mean you can't do it. You can do it, but there aren't many evening classes in fluid flow or computational fluid dynamics. They just don't offer them then. So it's much more cumbersome to do it part-time, and there's no scholarships for doing it part-time. But hopefully, if you're doing it part-time, it means you're working full-time, and maybe you get some tuition reimbursement from your employer. A lot of places will do that. But if you live close and you have someone who gives you flexible hours, and we do it. There's a couple students each year that they're able to take off from 10 to 12 on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and come in for class. If that's the case, by all means, you can do it. Yeah. Well, great.
Do you happen to know off the top of your head the difference in average starting salary for an undergrad versus a?
That's a really good question. The last class didn't ask me that question. So the answer is, I don't have excellent quantitative data, but I have a good indication. It's about a 10% bump. Okay, it varies. It could be more, but it's about a 10% bump. Here's, it's about a 10% bump. One other thing to kind of make, again, no real hard and fast data here, but in general, the number of companies who are going to look for you with this degree versus this degree, this might be a little smaller, but they're going to be looking for you. Because if you the people who are looking for someone with a graduate degree in a field are looking for some expertise in that field. So you might have fewer companies looking for you than here, or than you with your bachelor's, but they want you. So there's another question just to point out. The MEng is a relatively new degree, but if you start to look around, if you do a Google search, you'll find there's a whole lot of colleges that now offer the MEng degree. But let's say you go to the industry you work in, the place you co-op, you start, if you're thinking about this and you want to know which should I do, I always think it's great to get lots of different opinions. Ask people if you don't know. And you'll find some guys who are my age and older who go, Master of Engineering, don't do that. That's not a real degree. You should do the Master of Science. And I think it's because they don't really fully understand what this is. They have this opinion that a coursework-based degree is not equivalent. So it's not equivalent in one sense because so if they did a Master of Science, they'll tell you don't go this way, right? But I will tell you that the individuals who come and get the Master of Engineering degree have no trouble getting jobs. People who come and get the Master of Science have no trouble getting jobs. It's not an issue. But there is still in some people's minds, a difference between the two. But that's diminishing because, UCLA, USC, NC State, they all offer Master of Engineering degrees now too. Cool. Great. Well, good luck with this semester and enjoy Thanksgiving. I like Thanksgiving. Thank you.
Thank you.